Da-da-da. The Odyssey. In the one-eyed giant's cave. I don't even need to look at something else for this. Let's get this started. So this is how Odysseus starts the story. So it starts with this. I have just gone off from just finished plundering Troy, and I decided to do this. My crew, and my idiot crew, should I mention, decided that they wanted to plunder and have more loot. So I told them, well, yeah, okay, but we can't stay long. But they like, yeah, Odysseus is a bastard, and like, stays long. And then finally reinforcements arrive, and some of us get squashed. And the rest of us run up to our ships, and then we finally survive. So, idiot crew. Yeah, that's basically what happens. And then again that happens, and then they land to the island of the Lotus Eaters. The crew eats these suspicious but kind of tasty lotuses, and just like the opium drug from the opium war, this happens. They'll like get drunk, and no, not drunk, they get a little woozy, and they completely forget about home, and all they want to do is stay on this island and eat lotuses. Yum, yum. So Odysseus has to drag his idiot crew, at least the ones that he can manage to drag back before they jump off the ship back to the island. So the ones that were able to be dragged back and not get to the opium-addicted drug, lotus, I guess that lotus is actually opium? I'm not really sure because it is grown in like places that looks like lilies in my opinion. But then again, that's just like, yeah, superstition. Another thing that happens next is this. So, after dragging his idiot crew out of the lotus-eating island, he ends up at a place where there's a cave and a lot of giant sheep. I never actually heard of giant sheep. I've heard of cyclops and giants, but never giant sheep. Anyways, giant sheep. And they find some giant sheep, and they're like, maybe we should wait for the person who owns all these sheep and wait and ask him to do things for us. And that happens. And then finally they realize the owner of the cave is, bad luck, a cyclops, son of Poseidon. Yay! Yikes! And so when the crew is like, hey, you better listen to us because we're from Zeus. Zeus commands us too and protects us. And they're like, ha ha ha, I'm not scared of Zeus. He's my uncle. And this is what happens. The Cyclops, whose name is Polyphemus, locks them in by pushing the boulders through, takes 12 his crew in one go, and swallows them. Yum! Except the armor, of course. So then Odysseus draws out his sword and was about to strike Polyphemus, but then he realized something. Polyphemus is the only one in the room who was strong enough to actually move the boulder, so that's kind of a problem, guys. And the next day, while Polyphemus is outside pasturing his sheep, Odysseus finds a wooden staff in the cave and tells the man, Hey you guys, see that wooden staff? Sharpen it. And they sharpen the tip. And finally, Odysseus gets his wine, mixes it with some 20 cups of water, according to the book, at least according to the book, and gives them to the Cyclops. Polyphemus drinks it, and Polyphemus gets so drunk that he falls asleep. Into such a deep sleep, like how drunk bastards do. I'm not sure if I should even use that word. I'm technically 11. I'm turning 12 this year. So when Polyphemus returns, and after getting him drunk, Odysseus says, men, heat it. And after heating the spike, they shove it into Polyphemus' eye, which is actually not that hard to do since he only has one eye. And he even if you got one eye blinded, you can still see with the other eye. But the unfortunate thing about Cyclops is they only have one eye, so all you have to do is this. Yeah! And they're all blinded. And before that happened, the Cyclops asks Odysseus his name, and he says, nobody. And so when he shrieks out, and they say, and then the other Cyclops say, what's wrong, Polyphemus? Polyphemus says, nobody's killing me. And they're like, ha, nobody is killing you. Yeah, I'm going to say no. You're probably going to say nobody's going to eat your sheep. So basically this is what happens. Polyphemus removes the boulder, and it's like, I guess if that happened, the other Cyclops are like, what? But this is actually what happens. So Polyphemus sleeps for the next of the night, takes up the boulder, letting the sheep graze, and this is what happens. Their sheep are under their bellies are tied with the soldiers. And that happens, and then they pass. Yippee! And they survive. And then Poseidon, however, is angry. So Odysseus eventually says, if anyone asks you who blinded you, say it's Odysseus of Ithaca. And once the Cyclops is out of range from hitting any of the ships, they're like, Dad! Oh, it's Poseidon. Odysseus gouged my eye. And Odysseus is going to pay for it, according to Poseidon. And that is the end. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And I'll see you guys in the next. Schneiden out. Peace. The end. Subscribe.